Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Boring Crypto IO, where I read you the boring crypto news so you don't have to. My name is Not Important and I'm your host. Well, I hope everybody is having a wonderful morning. Unfortunately, today is not looking good and we'll get into it. But what is the news we've got going on right now? First of all, more SBF news. Surprise, surprise. Sam Bankman Fried agrees to U.S. extradition to put the customers right. Boris Johnson's brother steps down as Binance advisor amid concerns over the exchange. More Binance FUD guys. And the main story of today, Ben Armstrong, Bitboy, supposedly foiled Sam Bankman Fried's plans to get back to the United States. What a weird crypto world we're living in right now. As much as I say it's boring, right now it's slightly odd. It's almost like a science fiction novel. But per usual, guys, before we get into the news, do all the things, please, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell for notifications if you like the content that I provide. Let's get into it. Bitcoin looking pretty bleak, but we did get a bounce off of my right around that 16.49, 16.5 level that I've had as last level support for quite some time. The unfortunate part with this bounce, we are starting to get rejected off of what originally was support, turning it to resistance, which again is a super bearish sign, guys, of around that 16.887, 16.9 level. Again, right here, it was pretty strong support before we made this run up, and now it's looking like it might turn itself into resistance. We basically almost hit it there, hit here and came back down. So we've been getting close to hitting it a couple times, which, I mean, in my opinion, that definitely turns it into solid resistance at this point. Let's look at Ethereum, kind of doing the exact same thing. Ethereum bounced off of this 1162 level a couple times, hit it, and now it's trying to retest this 1210, 1207 level again, which actually has been resistance for a while. It's from over here, we broke out of it, came up here, and we're going back. Yeah, again, guys, where we're at, and this is where we've been ranging for quite some time, as you can see in this general level, I'm just not seeing strength. I'm not confident personally. If you opened up any longs, hopefully you got a nice little scalp in right here, but I don't trust it. I've got that feeling that we're going to continue going down. It looks weak, guys. The chart looks very, very weak. So if you are trading, be safe, be smart, have your stop losses in place. Don't get too crazy with the leverage. So let's get into the news. Sam Bankman Fried agrees to U.S. extradition to put the customers right. I'm sure that's why he wants to get to the U.S. The former FTX CEO attended an emergency hearing of the Bahamas Magistrate Court just hours earlier, returning to prison following the event. Former FTX CEO Sam Bankman Fried, currently in the custody of Bahamian authorities, has reportedly agreed to be extradited to the United States to face charges. According to a December 19th report from Reuters, Bankman Fried's legal team said it planned to prepare documents to have him reappear before the Bahamas Magistrate Court sometime this week. The former FTX CEO attended an emergency hearing of the court just hours earlier without any seeming identification or ruling. He returned to prison following the event. Everybody's going to throw the book at this dude. Mr. Bankman Fried wishes to put the customers right, and that is what has driven his decision, Jerry Roberts on SBF's legal team was quoted as saying. Bankman Fried reportedly had wanted to see the indictment against him before he agreed to be extradited to the United States. He faces charges from the Justice Department, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and the Securities and Exchange Commission related to defrauding investors and lenders, as well as violations of campaign finance laws. He could be looking at a 115-year sentence if convicted. The former FTX CEO has been in the custody of Bahamian authorities since December 12th, when local police arrested him as part of extradition proceedings with the U.S. Until then, Bankman Fried has been regularly giving interviews to major media outlets and was expected to testify before at least one congressional hearing. So nothing new, but again, breaking news leading into this or out of this, I don't know. Supposedly, Bitboy, Ben, is what foiled them and kept him in prison here in the Bahamas. Moving on, next story. Boris Johnson's brother steps down as Binance advisor amid concerns over the exchange. Guys, again, more Binance FUD, or maybe true, I don't know. This is just more stories coming out saying that Binance isn't looking good, that they might be insolvent. My personal opinion, I think it is just FUD. I don't think Binance is insolvent, personally. Not financial advice. Lord Johnson Marylebone reportedly took up a role on the UK advisory board of one of Binance's subsidiaries in September. Joe Johnson, the brother of former United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson, has reportedly stepped down from his role as an advisor to Binance, according to a Telegraph report. According to the report, Joe Johnson had been advising Binance during the exchange's efforts to expand into the United Kingdom. The former British Prime Minister's brother, also known as Lord Johnson of Marylebone, reportedly took up a role on the UK advisory board of one of Binance's subsidiaries, Bitfinity, in September. The Telegraph reported that he resigned last week after Binance's proof of reserves raised red flags for some accounting and financial specialists amid a backdrop of negative sentiment impacting the exchange, which triggered a bank run shortly thereafter. In a statement issued on December 19th, Johnson shared, "I stepped down from the advisory board last week and have no role with it or any related entity." Bitfinity, the company Johnson was reportedly advising, was created by Binance in March of 2022 and is part of the Binance Group, as described in a filing with United States regulators in April. The company converts traditional currencies like the British pound and US dollars into digital currency. On December 16th, Cointelegraph reported that Binance's proof of reserves had been removed from the Mazars Group's website. Mazars, appointed an official auditor for Binance's proof of reserves update, has entirely discontinued Mazars Veritas, a section dedicated to cryptocurrency exchange audits. According to December 19th press release, Binance will acquire assets of bankrupt crypto lender Voyager Digital for $1.022 billion. The deal is set to close by April 18th, 2023. Binance has agreed to make a $10 million deposit in good faith and will reimburse Voyager for certain expenses up to a maximum of $15 million. So like I said, guys, it just sounds like more FUD for Binance. What do you think about this? Do you think Binance is insolvent? Do you think they're good to go? Do you think this is just FUD? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, for today's headlining story, Ben Armstrong of Bitboy Crypto down to the Bahamas, going to Sam Bankman Fried's hearing in the Bahamas. Him and the Bit Squad supposedly foiled Sam Bankman Fried's chances of being extradited to the United States. And with that being said, I'm just going to play the video that Bitboy released, and you guys get to see it here on Boring Crypto IO.
We are here in the Bahamas, and we just got back from going to court with Sam Bankman Fried for his extradition hearing. So we had about 6 people with us or so, not counting security, and we were going to go into the courtroom and see the hearing. We expected his parents to be there, expected, a lot of media to be there, which they were. Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Bloomberg, Reuters, AP, they were all there this morning. And so long and short of it is, we go inside the courtroom and there's Sam. Sam is right there talking to his lawyer. He turns and he says, "That's Bitboy, he just walked into court." And so I sit down. He looked dead in my eyes. We had the moment. But guys, the real story here is not Bitboy meets SBF. The real story here is what happened in the hearing. It was absolutely insane. So from the moment we get inside the hearing, we have the lawyers, the lawyer for Sam Bankman Fried, and then the lawyer for the Attorney General for the Bahamas arguing back and forth. And they keep talking about, why are we here today? Why are we here today? Why are we here today? Well, everybody knew why we were here, right? We were here for an extradition hearing. So he was going to use, I think it was called Motion 17. He was going to move the court to waive his right to stay in the Bahamas, and so he could go in the United States. And let me tell you, he wanted desperately to get out. There were several times he was shaking. There were several times he stood up and motioned over to his lawyer and said, "You have to get me out of here today. Today, you have to get me out of here." He said that multiple times. He did not want to stay in the Bahamas another minute. The FBI was there. The IRS was there. There were people from the U.S. Embassy that were there. Guys, there was literally a jet running on the tarmac to take SBF away. What unfolds is quite an interesting tale. If you've been watching what we've been doing here, we talked about it on Saturday night at our panel. What we did is we brought down investors from FTX, investors from Celsius, who lost a lot of money. We brought them down here to the Bahamas. Originally, we were going to do a protest. We wanted to do a protest to get them arrested. Well, we had it all planned. And of course, he got arrested on Monday night, which changed what we want to do. Well, this changed things dramatically. So on Saturday, we all went up to the police station to file criminal charges against SBF, because basically the story is nobody had filed criminal charges against him. So since nobody had filed criminal charges against him, that meant that the Bahamas didn't have to arrest him. They were only going to arrest him on behalf of the U.S. charges. However, we went there on Saturday. Sunday morning, they arranged a special meeting for our people to come and actually file these reports, so they didn't take them Saturday. It's weird. 1 hour after we were up at the police station on Saturday, here comes the announcement that Sam Bankman Fried is going to be extradited, and he's going to waive his rights. Well, Sunday, we go back up there. One of the ladies with us, Rebecca, she filled out a police report, got it signed, got it sent up. And so over this court hearing, you kept hearing them talk about a mysterious event that happened over the weekend and a mysterious document that the legal team for Sam Bankman Fried had not seen yet. And so what it all boiled down to is this. We filed this police report. Rebecca has a document basically explaining his wrongdoing, and the court used that to stop the extradition. So technically what the legal counsel wanted for Sam Bankman Fried is to view this document and be able to decide what to do from there. He wanted to talk to his lawyers in the United States. So what happens is that basically after we had to go to the courtroom twice, we come back in, and here's where it ends. Sam Bankman Fried is begging his lawyer to let him out, begging him for this motion 17, and the lawyer says, no, we can't. We have to look at this document first and talk to your lawyers in the United States. So they arrange for everybody to leave the courtroom and them to have this phone call. Well, while they're having this phone call, everybody leaves. The prosecuting attorney leaves. The last thing that the judge told Sam Bankman Fried was, you're now remanded by the court. Remanded, I think that's the right word. Basically, where he was going to have to stay in court in the Bahamas. Now, Sam didn't understand this when he was hearing it. When he was hearing this, he took that to mean that he was going to get this call with U.S. lawyers, get to go back into court and get extradited. But that is not, in fact, what happened. Sam is actually staying in the Bahamas. I've been told they want to keep him here up to a year. Of course, we do know he has another hearing on February 8th. Now, the pressure in the United States, the U.S. is pissed. FBI is pissed. The IRS is pissed. They wanted him on that jet going back to the United States today. Now, the United States does have enough power to push Sam, or to push the Bahamian government here into forcing Sam to leave for the extradition. The United States does have that power. But the Bahamian government is pushing against this so much. Why? Well, if you watched our panel the other night, then you would know that one thing that is a big myth, it's a big misinformation, smoke and mirrors, is that, right after Sam filed for Chapter 11, that they suddenly gave all the crypto assets back to the people in the Bahamas. That if you lived in the Bahamas, if you were in this jurisdiction, you got your assets back. And then there was a lot of withdrawals to support that. Well, lo and behold, what actually happened here is, you may not know this unless you watch your panel, did you know that people that live in the Bahamas are not allowed to gamble at the casinos here? Did you know that people that live in the Bahamas are not allowed to invest in crypto assets? They're not allowed to have FTX accounts. So what does that tell you? That tells you the only people that were able to get those withdrawals are people that are above the law. Who's above the law? The government. They have a document that I believe has 1,500 names on it, including people from the Bahamian government who were able to go behind everybody's back and withdraw their crypto assets while you got stuck holding yours. You got stuck holding the bag. Meanwhile, people down here, maybe including the Prime Minister, actually, were able to get their funds off of FTX. What a sham, what a crock, absolutely ridiculous that this happened. And that's what's going on here. They want to keep him here as long as possible so they can maneuver and try to cover up what was done here in the Bahamian government. Because they know if Sam goes to the United States and all these documents become public, then what's going to occur is their government corruption is going to be exposed. And in the Bahamas, they love government corruption. They hate people knowing that their government is corrupt. So they're often trying to do things and maneuver to make it look like there's not corruption when there clearly is. So while they have Sam here in their possession, they can control what is going on. So they used our document, they used Rebecca's document to keep him here for the time being, but it won't last forever. There will be a time where he does get out and go to the United States. Like I said, they want to hold him here for a year, but I'm not sure if that's going to be legit or not. This is all according to Lincoln Bain, who of course ran for prime minister here. He knows exactly what's going on. We also have a civil lawsuit that we're filing against Sam, which is going to have gigantic implications for you as the investor in FTX. And we're going to be able to tell you more about that hopefully in the coming weeks. We got to do some things in stealth here to, you guys know I love to move in stealth. We got to do some things in stealth to make sure things occur the way that we want them to occur. But we are moving forward, and it's never going to be more clear. We are fighting for you. We're fighting for the people. We're fighting for everybody who lost money. We're making sure Sam gets held accountable.
Yeah, guys, this is pretty interesting. I mean, this is coming from Bitboy, so I don't know how much of it's true. I don't know how much of it is or isn't ego. But it's intriguing. Like I said, guys, even with Sam trying to get back to the United States, I don't know if he'll make it. I've said that. But this is really interesting. If this is true, the fact that they filed these reports that could have possibly stopped Sam from getting back to the United States is very ironic, in my opinion. But guys, besides all that, if let me know what you think about Ben and the Bit Squad down in the Bahamas, foiling Sam Bankman Fried's plans down below in the comments. Outside of that, please, by all means, if you like what I provide and give you guys the news so you don't have to read it yourselves, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on bell for notifications, and don't get burnt out there, guys. The market's looking really weak. I don't see a lot of support. I don't see a lot of strength. Be safe out there when you're trading, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another boring crypto IO show. I'm out of here.